Yes, good evening, children. This is your Ravi sir, physics faculty. So, children, in previous classes we have to completed the first lesson, ray diagrams of concave and convex mirror. Today we are going to start another lesson, which is the very important. And mainly in this lesson we have to discuss about the balancing equations and some of the problem, children. So, in our daily life, many of the changes we have to observe, children. That changes comes under physical change or chemical change. Let me see that today's topic is chemical equations. Chemical equation, children. So, chemical equation means a symbolic representative of chemical change is called chemical equation. A symbolic representative of chemical change is called chemical equation. When a chemical reaction is occur, new substances are formed. That means here when the completely chemical changes occurs, the original substances are completely changes and their property also completely changed, children. For example, let me see one example here. Zinc plus hydrochloric acid. Zinc plus hydrochloric acid. It forms a zinc chloride plus hydrogen. So here zinc react with hydrochloric acid, it forms zinc chloride and water. These are called reactants and these are products. So now the zinc react with hydrochloric acid, then it forms a new substance, that zinc chloride and hydrogen gas. When the chemical reaction occurs here, new substances are formed here. These new substances property entirely different with the reactants. Means when a chemical reaction occurs, new substances are formed. That substances properties entirely different to the original substances. Let me see some examples in our daily life the chemical reaction occurs. For example, of digestion of food, burning of crackers, ripening of fruit, the iron is exposed to the moisture and water. These are all above these all are comes under the chemical reactions, chemical change. When a chemical change occurs, new substances are formed. The new substances property entirely different to the original substances. They are called, let's see, it is one of the chemical reaction, zinc and hydrochloric acid to form zinc chloride and hydrogen. Now it is called reactants and these are the products. Reactants, what is mean by reactant, children? Means here, reactant means we can see the symbol also. The substance which are left side to the arrow symbol, these are called reactant. The substance which are left side to the arrow symbol is called reactants. Or the substance which undergoes the chemical change. The substance which undergoes the chemical change, these are called reactants. We can say the different kinds of definition, children. Reactants means one is the substance which are the substance which are left side to the arrow symbol, means this side, left side to the arrow symbol, they are called reactants. Or the substance which undergoes the chemical change, means here zinc and hydrochloric acid, they undergoes the chemical change. When the chemical change occurs, new substances are formed. This new substance, what we call, children? Product. When a chemical reaction occurs, then new substances are formed. This new substance we call products. And simple, we can say the substance which are right side to the arrow symbol is called products. Right side to the arrow symbol. Left side to the arrow symbol is called reactants and right side to the arrow symbol is called product. When a chemical reaction occurs, new substances are formed. The new substances property entirely different to the reactants. So let me see some chemical reaction with the activity. Now, activity 1. Just take a 1 gram of quicklime. Quicklime is nothing but calcium oxide, children. Calcium oxide, that is CaO, calcium oxide. Take a 1 gram of calcium oxide in a beaker. For example, these are the calcium oxide in a beaker, and add to this 10 milliliter of water. Take a 1 gram of quicklime. Quicklime is nothing but calcium oxide. So it is a quicklime, and to this add 10 milliliter of water. And now touch the beaker with your finger. The beaker is hot. You feel that the beaker is hot. Why the beaker gets hot? That means here calcium oxide completely dissolved with water. In this reaction, some heat energy is liberated. That's why when we touch the beaker with our finger, we feel that beaker is hot. Means calcium oxide completely dissolved in the water, then heat energy is liberated. It comes under exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means here calcium oxide react with water, then gives rise to CaOH twice plus heat energy is liberated. Q means heat energy, children. It is heat. Heat. Calcium oxide completely dissolved in water to form calcium hydroxide. This is called slaked lime. Slaked lime. CaO, what we call, children? Calcium oxide we call quicklime. CaOH twice calcium hydroxide. This we call slaked lime. Along with some amount of heat is liberated. That's why when we touch the beaker with our finger, the beaker is so hot because heat energy is liberated in this reaction. It comes under exothermic reaction. Exothermic. The reaction takes place when heat is liberated. The reaction takes place when heat is liberated. It is called exothermic reaction. Exo means it will be exit. In this reaction, heat comes out. The reaction takes place when the heat is liberated. It is called exothermic reaction. And test this reaction with the litmus paper. Take a red litmus paper and dip into this slaked lime solution. For example, just imagine it is a red litmus paper, children. Now it is dip into the solution, calcium hydroxide solution. It is turning to blue color. It is turning to blue color. So by that, what we conclude, that means here, this solution is basic in nature. Basic in nature. It is the first activity. First, we have to take a 1 gram of quicklime. Quicklime is nothing but calcium oxide. And to this add 10 milliliter of water. And now touch the beaker with your finger. Now the beaker is hot. That means calcium oxide completely dissolved in water. Then in this reaction, heat is liberated. So that's why this reaction comes under exothermic reaction. So calcium oxide dissolved in water to liberate calcium hydroxide. It we call slaked lime. Along with it is liberated. And this reaction comes under exothermic reaction. When the reaction takes place, heat is liberated. It is called exothermic reaction. I now test this solution with the litmus paper. Take a red litmus paper and dip into the solution. Now the red litmus paper automatically turn into blue in color. And test the solution with the blue litmus paper. Dip the blue litmus paper into solution. The blue litmus does not change any color. That's why this solution is basic in nature. It is comes under exothermic reaction because in this reaction heat is liberated. Q means heat, children. Plus Q means heat. And the second one, activity 2, white color precipitation formation. The white color substance formation of white color precipitate. Let me see this. Take a beaker and take a 100 milliliter of water in a beaker, and to this add small quantity of sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. Na2SO4. It is called sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate. First, we have to take a beaker and fill with 100 grams of 100 milliliter of water, and to this add small quantity of sodium sulfate. Now take another beaker and say take a 100 milliliter of water in a beaker. To this add small quantity of barium chloride. BaCl to barium chloride. BaCl to barium chloride. Barium chloride. And sodium sulfate is completely dissolved in this water, and barium chloride also completely dissolved in this. Now both solution mix into another beaker. Take another beaker and mix the both solution, that is sodium sulfate solution plus barium chloride solution. Take the two solution, mix into the another beaker and observe the reaction. What reaction takes place? When we mix the sodium sulfate and barium chloride, white color substances is formed in that. The white color solution is formed in that. That means here Na2SO4 sodium sulfate plus barium chloride then gives rise to, here barium is react with SO4, children. Ba plus SO4, barium sulfate is formed, plus what remains now? Na2 and Cl2 remains. Chlorine contains of 2 atoms and Na2 also contains 2 atoms. First take the numbers is common 2 and add to this Na plus Cl. So in this reaction, white color substances is formed. The white color substance is nothing but barium sulfate. It is undissolving substances. Means in this reaction, barium sulfate precipitation is formed. It is a precipitate substance. Precipitate. Sodium sulfate plus barium chloride both react together, and barium sulfate is formed in this reaction along with sodium chloride. But here barium sulfate is undissolving substances in this. It is a white color substances formed in the reaction. This white color substance, what we call, children? Precipitate. Barium sulfate is the precipitate. The symbol it is, when the arrow symbol is downward, it is the symbol of precipitate. Precipitate means the undissolving substance, the insoluble solution, that the insoluble substance in a solution is called precipitate. The insoluble substance in a solution is called precipitate. It will not completely dissolve in the solution. In dissolving the solution, that is called precipitate. The insoluble substance in the solution is called precipitate. So it is a white color substance. White color precipitate is formed. Barium sulfate precipitate. Symbol of precipitate is arrow symbol is downward. Once again, take a 100 milliliter of water in a beaker. Add to this some amount of sodium sulfate, and take another beaker with 100 milliliter of water and add to this some amount of barium chloride. And two substances are completely dissolved in the beaker. Now the two solution add and take into the another beaker. Pour this two solution in one beaker and observe the chemical reaction. So in this, when we pour the two solution in a beaker, now in this white color formation is formed. The white color substance is nothing but barium sulfate. It is a precipitate, means insoluble substance in a solution. It will not complete soluble in the solution. The insoluble substance in a solution is called precipitate. So now in this reaction, the white color precipitate is formed. The white color precipitate is nothing but here barium sulfate is white color precipitate. How we can identify the precipitate? By the arrow symbol. If any arrow symbol is downward, that indicates the precipitate symbol. Now here barium sulfate is precipitate, it is the white in color. The second activity tells about the formation of precipitate. First activity tells about the formation of a basic substance and exothermic reaction. Now it is the second one. And let us see the third one. Activity 3. Activity 3 here. So it is tells about the formation of gas. Formation of gas. It is tells about the formation of gas. So let me take one conical flask. It is conical flask, children. And take some amount of zinc granules. These are the zinc granules. Zinc granules. And to this add 20 milliliter of dilute HCl. Dilute HCl. Dilute HCl. So now both are reacted together. Dilute HCl and zinc granules are completely react both here. In this reaction, some amount of gas comes out. And how then how we identify which gas is liberated in this reaction? So for that, bring a one burning matchstick near to the mouth of conical flask. Just bring the burning matchstick near to the mouth of conical flask. Now it makes a pop sound and put out the fire. When we bring the burning matchstick near the mouth of conical flask, now it is make a pop sound and put out the fire. Now it is indicates the liberation of hydrogen gas. When the burning matchstick makes a pop sound and put out the fire, that indicates hydrogen gas is liberated. If this matchstick is still completely burned with bright, this matchstick is still brightly burned, that indicates liberation of oxygen gas, because oxygen is support to the fire. If the matchstick is still burned brightly, that indicates oxygen gas is liberated. But in this reaction, when dilute HCl react with the zinc granules, so then some amount of gases comes out. So then bring a one burning matchstick, put near to the mouth of conical flask. Now it is makes a pop sound and put off it is. So now we have to observe the liberation of gas is hydrogen gas. So for this we have to write the chemical equation: zinc granules and hydrochloric acid. Here zinc is reacted with chlorine. Now this 2 is belongs to hydrogen and chlorine, children. If any number beside of the formula, if the number any number besides the formula, this number is belongs to hydrogen and chlorine. Now zinc is reacted with chlorine to form zinc chloride plus what remains now 2H. This 2H is comes under hydrogen gas. So arrow symbol is upward, it is indicates that gas is liberation. Arrow symbol downward means precipitate. Arrow symbol upward means gas is liberation. So now in this reaction hydrogen gas is liberated. First we have to take a conical flask. It is a conical flask, children. Take some amount of zinc granules and to this add 20 milliliter of dilute hydrochloric acid. Now both are react together. And now in this reaction some amount of gases comes out and we have to identify which gases comes out. So for that, bring a one burning matchstick, put near to the mouth of conical flask. For example, this is a matchstick put near to the mouth of conical flask. Now this burning matchstick will make a pop sound and put up this fire. Now indication of hydrogen gases liberation. So how we should identify the hydrogen gases liberated? Means here when a burning matchstick put near to the mouth of conical flask, if it is make a pop sound and put up the fire, that is called liberation of hydrogen gas. Now in this reaction hydrogen gas is liberated. So gases we have to indicate with the arrow symbol is upward. So see children, now we have to completed the 3 activities. The first activity is basic substances are liberated. That reaction comes under exothermic reaction. Second one is second activities we have to observe the formation of precipitation, and third activity we observe here liberation of gases. So these 3 important activities, children. Now let me see the very most important balancing equations. Balancing chemical equations. So first of all, why we should balance the chemical equations? So for that, according to law of conservation of mass, the mass of the substances before the reaction is equals to after the reaction of mass of substance. That is called law of conservation of mass. What is meant by law of conservation of mass? That means according to law of conservation of mass, the mass of substances before the reaction is equals to after the reaction of mass of the substance. Before the reaction, mass of the total substance is equals to after the reaction of mass of the total substance. The simple we can call it is reactants is equals to products before the reaction and after the reaction. It is called law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass means the mass of substances before the reaction is equals to after the reaction. It is called law of conservation of mass. For example, before the reaction, the total mass of reactants are 100 grams. For example, before the reaction of mass of substance is 100 grams. When after the reaction, the product mass also should be 100 grams. It is law of conservation of mass. The mass of substances before the reaction, and after the reaction. It is called law of conservation of mass. So according to law of conservation of mass, we should balance the chemical equation. Law of conservation of mass. Before the reaction of mass of substance is equals to after the reaction of mass of substance. It is called law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation. Law of conservation of mass. Anthony Lavoisier, according to Anthony Lavoisier, the law of conservation of before the mass of the substance is equals to after the mass of the substances. This is called law of conservation of mass. According to this, we should balance the chemical equation. We should balance the chemical equation. So, when balancing time, so how we should balance the chemical? Let me see one example here, children. H2 plus O2 then gives rise to H2O. H2 plus O2 then gives rise to H2O. Is it balancing equation? Here, how we should find it is balanced or not? So for that, some steps involved in this balancing equation, children. Then we have to count the LHS side and RHS side. Means reactant side, how many atoms are there, and product side, how many atoms are there. We should find here. So then, let me count the LHS and RHS side. LH side, left hand side. Left hand side is nothing but reactants. We should count how many atoms are there in left side, reactant side. So here hydrogen, 2 atoms will be there. How many are there children? 2. Then LHS side hydrogen is 2 atoms will be there. Oxygen LHS side 2 will be there. And product side, let me see your product side. Product side here, hydrogen 2, oxygen 1 will be there. Now the equation is not balanced, it is. So the equation is unbalanced, it is. Equation is unbalanced, it is. So then how we should balance the chemical equation? That means here LHS side hydrogens 2 there and RHS side hydrogens 2 will be there. So here RHS side hydrogens 2 and oxygen 1 will be there. So how we should balance the equation? It is not a balancing equation. So then that's why we should write the. So here oxygen 2 there LHS side, but products are only 1. Now the number 2 is add coefficient to the product side. Which number is not balanced now? Here oxygen 1 will be there, LHS side 2 will be there. This number 2 is add coefficient to the product side. Are you understood, children? Here 1 will be there. Hydrogen is balanced here, but oxygen is not balanced to the right side, RHS side. So that's why the number 2 is add to the coefficient side. Let me write down here. H2 plus O2. Then gives rise to add the number to the product side here. 2H2O. 2H2O. Now oxygen 2 will be there now. Oxygen. Again you have to take LHS and RHS side now. Up to balancing time, we should take the LHS and RHS count here. Now see, again LHS side, hydrogens 2 will be there. Oxygen 2 will be there. Product side, hydrogen, this 2 is belongs to hydrogen and oxygen. But this number 2, which is below the atom, below the element, it is belongs to only the H. If the number besides the formula, this number 2, this 2 is belongs to hydrogen and oxygen, but this is belongs to only hydrogen. The number which is below the element or atom, that is belongs to only the hydrogen, which is besides the formula. This is belongs to hydrogen oxide. So now 2 2s are 4 hydrogens. RH side 2 2s are 4, and hydrogen, this number belongs to oxygen also. But here now also it is not balanced. Here hydrogens 4 will be their product side, but reactant side hydrogen only 2 will be there. Now the number 2 is add coefficient to the reactant side. Here hydrogens 4 will be there product side, but reactant side only 2 there. Now this number 2 is add coefficient to the reactant side. Let me write now it is 2 H2 plus O2, then gives rise to 2 H2 is the product. Now again take the LHS or RHS. Now LHS side 2 2s are 4 hydrogens. Oxygens only 2. Product side 2 2s are 4 hydrogens. Oxygen 2. Then LHS side hydrogens 4. Product side also hydrogens 4. Product side LHS side oxygens 2 and product side also oxygens 2. Hence the equation is balanced. Hence the equation is balanced. See now that it is the balanced equation. So what are the equations is given here? Once observe that, once count the atoms LHS and RHS side. First take one which is not balanced. That side you should try to balance it. And again take the count of LHS and RHS. If it is balanced, okay. If it is not balanced both sides, you check that which number is add coefficient to that. Up to balancing time, you take the LHS and RHS count, and finally, if it is balanced, you try the hence the equation is balanced. So here the first equation H2 plus O2 is given H2O. Take the LHS and RHS left hand side and right hand side. Left hand side we call reactants. These are reactants. Right hand side substance is called products. And left hand side hydrogen, oxygen 2 will be there. Product side hydrogen 2 and oxygen only 1. That means oxygen we should balance by addition of 2 coefficient. Here we have to add the coefficient 2. Now again take the LHS RHS. LHS side hydrogen 2 and oxygen 2, but RHS side hydrogens 4, oxygen 2. Now the 2 is add a coefficient to the reactant side, to the hydrogen. Now add the hydrogen, add the 2 to the hydrogen, and now it is balanced now. Count the numbers again, LHS, RHS. So finally it is balanced. So balancing equation according to law of conservation of mass, LHS side substances is equals to RHS side substances. These are the balancing equation, children. So one more important. So one more equation, children. Sodium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid. It produces sodium sulfate and water. So check one children, is it balanced equation or not? If the equation is not balanced, what we call? Equation is not balanced. The unbalanced chemical equation containing molecular formula. It is called skeleton equation. Skeleton equation. Skeleton equation. Very important for 1 mark children. Skeleton equation. Unbalanced chemical equation contains molecular formula. See, this equation is not balanced. But however, it contains a molecular formula. This type of equations is called skeleton equation. Unbalanced chemical equation contains molecular formula is called skeleton equation. Unbalanced chemical equation contains molecular formula. It is called skeleton equation. Let me take the LHS and RHS side. Count the atoms. LHS, Na, sodium 1, oxygen here 1 and a 4 will be there. LHS side 1 oxygen, here 4 oxygen will be there, 5. Hydrogens 1, here 2, 3 there. Sulfur 1. Product side, RHS side. Sodiums 2 will be there. Sulfur 1. Oxygens 4 plus 1, 5. Hydrogens here 2 will be there. So see children, it is unbalanced equation. It is not balanced. LHS side, RHS side is not balanced. So that's why this kind of equations is called skeleton equation. Unbalanced chemical equations contains molecular formula. This type of equations is called skeleton equation. Now see, LHS side sodium 1, RHS 2 there. LHS side oxygen 5, RHS also oxygen 5. LHS side hydrogens 3, RHS side 2. Sulfur 1, sulfur 1. So here sodium and hydrogens are not balanced in LHS and RHS side. We should balance the equations. So children, I will allot some works to you. What are the equations are there in textbook? Take the textbook and page number is 31. In page number 31, some of the questions is given balancing equation. You try to practice that questions. Some of the important balancing equations is given. So you try to complete that balancing equation. If you have any doubt, ask me. I will clarify to the next class. Don't skip up the class and attend the class regularly, children. It is the very, very most important topic. And today I am going to wind this class and be careful, children. What are the work is allotted to you? You try to finish the work as soon as possible. Thank you one and all.